everybody, what's going on? My name is Ben Gothard, founder and CEO of Gothard Enterprises and author of CEO at 20, a little book for big dreams. Today I want to do a case study on Facebook advertising. Now, your first question might be, Ben, it is February. Why are you wearing a tank top? And that's a really good question. And that's because I'm inside and I really like to wear them. Anyways, this video, I want to do a case study on Facebook advertising. I recently got a question. Shout out to my boy Jordan. I recently got a question about lowering the cost per click on Facebook ads for a fitness course. So I thought this would be a really good opportunity to dive into exactly how you would go about creating your targeting for a Facebook ad, then plugging that into an actual ad and kind of showing the whole process from start to finish. Because I feel like there's a lot of people who give the theory behind things, but there's really not that many case studies out there, and not many people show you from start to finish what the whole process looks like. So let's jump into my computer and let's get this done. The first step that we're going to take is we're going to identify our target audience. Now, as I mentioned before, we are going to be selling a fitness course. So obviously we want to target people related to fitness, working out, stuff like that. So we're going to head over to Facebook and we're going to go to Audience Insights. As you see here, if you go to the ads, you can check out all these different things. I just clicked Audience Insights and it brought me over here. So we want to target people who have money to buy this. Okay, so first we're going to start with age. And I want to say that most people aren't going to buy fitness courses while they're in their teens. Their metabolisms are kind of high and they don't really have that much money. So I would go a little bit higher, maybe to 25. By that point, you're out of college and you might want to stay fit and you don't really have a good system worked out yourself. So we're going to do 25-year-olds and up, and I want to cap it at about 60 because, again, I want to make sure that these are people who are going to buy this course, and I feel like people who are over 60 are probably not going to be too motivated to buy a course off of Facebook to work out. A lot of the times when people get older, they get a little bit more set in their ways, and they either have a gym that they go to all the time and maybe a trainer that they really like. So we're going to cap it at 60, and when you're actually running the ads for this, you're going to use data to narrow down your audience based on their age. So this isn't too terribly important for now, but I just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of an insight on my thought process while I'm going through this. So now we're going to go and we're going to type in a few interests. So I would say working out in the gym. Okay, that's a good interest. Now we see that when we plug in this interest, there's only 500 to 1,000 monthly active people. So this interest is probably not the main interest. So let's try a new one. Let's try gym. Okay, gyms. Great. So it's in fitness and wellness and gym. So here we're analyzing 20 to 25 million monthly active people. Okay, so that's a pretty good audience size to start looking at different demographics and different pages that they like and really diving into the audience persona. So let's look a little bit into lifestyle, and we want to see a little bit more about their lifestyle. So these kind of people are typically firmly established. They work and play. They're pretty active, top professionals. So we know that we're going for people who they're coming into their own. They're active. They're professionals. So we might want to do a little bit of cross-targeting with some entrepreneurship, because we know that entrepreneurs like to keep both their mind sharp but also their body and peak physical conditions. That may be something that we keep in mind. But we're just looking around just to see if there's anything that's particularly standing out here. So we do see an interesting trend here that most of the people who really like gyms are actually married. So you see that 5% more of this selected audience is married over Facebook users in general. So that's just something to keep in mind. I wouldn't put too much stock in really trying to dive into the why behind here. I would just kind of take it for what it is. We're just getting accustomed to who our audience is going to be. So it's people that have graduated from college and look like they are married and they are active people. Maybe they're in administration, management, sales, and so we're starting to get a little bit better picture. So I'm picturing somebody who's maybe in their 25, later 20s, early 30s. Maybe they just got married, and so their spouse and themselves want to get a little bit more active. Maybe they're a manager at a company or they're in sales, and so they have to deal with people all day, so they're kind of stressed, and they want some way to unwind and get healthy at the end of the day. So we're just kind of trying to go through and piece together who our audience is and what they're doing. So I want to go over to purchases real quick, and we see that we actually have a pretty good bit of people who are going to purchase, who make online purchases. And this is a really good sign because we know that they're making, by investing in the course, they are making an online purchase. So that is something that's pretty important to really get into. Now, this is another big one, purchase behavior. What are these people actually buying? So they're buying, obviously, sustenance, subscription services. So, for the course, we might want to offer some sort of subscription. So they get a base workout plan for the course, but then if they subscribe, then they get to see tons of new exercises that they can do, and maybe they get a fitness plan to go with it, a dieting plan to go with it, that you plan out for them the month, or you help them plan out moving forward. So you can use the data to really refine your product and try to suit the market as best as possible. Okay, but let's dive into what we're really here for, and that is we want to figure out, when we create ads, we want to see exactly who we're targeting for the ads. So we're going to go to page likes, okay, and these pages are going to show you, or I'm sorry, this tab is going to show you what pages people that have an interest in gyms are more likely than not to like on Facebook. So the idea is you're finding out what pages your customers like and what pages your customers visit and have an interest in, and then you're targeting them based on those interests. So we're using interest-based targeting, and we're diving into the different pages that they like, because if they like a page on Facebook, chances are they're going to go to it a lot. And if we can learn more about the pages that they go to, that our customers are going to go to, then we can target our ads specifically to those people. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's say that Planet Fitness uses a lot of gym lingo. Like we're doing this many sets, this many reps, and we got to always shelf the weight after. We have to make sure never to drop the weight, and there's all this lingo that goes on at a gym that might really resonate with this audience. So we want to do a few different things by looking at these pages. One, we're giving ourselves a group of people to target, literally to target when we're making our ads, and I'm going to show you later a little bit more about what I mean, but we're also researching, we're doing market research on our target audience. So if all of the wording and lingo on these pages is in a specific way, or is coming across to a specific group of people, then when we're selling this course to those same people, we want to use the same lingo. We're not going to use very advanced financial terms like calls and puts and spreads and different financial investment terms. We're not going to go and use that sort of language when we're trying to sell to people who want to get a good workout in. It's just the wrong type of language. It's the wrong way to address our audience. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into these pages, okay? So let's first start with Eat to Perform. And what we're looking for on this page is a few different things. One, we're looking for number of page likes. Okay, so this page has a good bit of likes. And what we're looking for second is engagement. So are people liking and commenting and sharing these different posts? So this post did not get that much engagement. And with 1.3 million people on this page, we would expect more than 67 likes. So this page might not be an engaged page. We might not want to target the people on this page because they may not be active users. So only 10 likes. It's not looking good so far. This one has 94 likes. This one has 13, and we're not seeing really any shares or comments. This one has a couple likes and shares, and the video had 11,000 views, so that's a good sign. This video also had almost 9,000 views, and this is from 2 days ago. So I would say that this page is probably not too engaged. We don't want to target this page because the people who have liked this page are not very active, and there's no way to be able to tell exactly how many of these 1.3 million people are actively using Facebook. And we only want to target people who are actively using Facebook. So let's X out of this one. We know Eat to Perform is not what we want. But let's try Planet Fitness. Now, Planet Fitness has almost 3.5 million people. So we're going to expect a ton of engagement from that many people, okay? So let's scroll down. And okay, so look, so this post has 2,500 likes or reactions and 121 shares, and it was put up February 6th. So that was 3 days ago. I'm filming this at like 1 a.m. So I'm still counting it as February 9th. February 1st. This actually has. This might be an error. That's not showing us the number of likes. Might be my internet or something. Okay, so this has 2.3 thousand 95 shares, 567. Okay, so this page I would say is relatively engaged. It's not crazy. It's not outrageous engagement, but I think it's enough. That's a good one. I think it's enough to where we can justify targeting the people on this page. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this name and we're going to bring it over to our Excel spreadsheet. Now, this is super important for what we're doing. Okay, we are organizing all of our different types of pages into specific categories. So I have here websites, magazines, big name individuals like celebrities in the niche, and then brands. So I would say for the workout niche, Planet Fitness is a brand, it's a store. And so I'm going to document the name, and then I'm going to go grab the audience size. I'm going to go grab the audience size and see, okay, so about 3 million. So I know that there's about 3 million people on this. That's good. That's a good start. Now, we want to go and keep looking because we want to make sure that we're getting a lot of people who are interested in this niche. So here we have 1.4 million people. 1.4 million people like this page. Okay, so the first post, it's a pinned post, so that might be a little bit inflated, but we see here that it's pretty good engagement. Not too many angry people, only 3 out of almost 3,000, and 723 shares. The more shares, the more shares that there are, the better that this page is going to be, because not only are these people engaged, but they're passionate about it. They want to share it. They want to share it with their friends. So this was posted about a day and a half ago, and it has a 1.3 thousand likes. So I'd say this page is probably relatively engaged. But let's keep checking. Okay, so February 7th, it was 427 likes. That's okay. A couple days before that, it was almost 2,000 with a good bit of shares. And then here we have 323 shares and almost 1,000 reactions, so that's good. This is a good sign. So I would say that, this one had 5,000 likes and 2,000 shares. So this is definitely an engaged page. So we're going to grab this, and I would say that this this might be a magazine. It's a website. It's a website. Okay, so we know it's a website, so we can go over here, and you can put that there, and the audience size is 1.4 million. So we're going to put 1.4, and I'm actually going to look for a magazine and a big name individual just to prove the point. You're going to want to go in, and when you're doing this yourself, you're going to want to actually go through and find a couple million for each category. I'd get at least 3 to 5 in each category if you can find it. Now, the National Academy of Sports Medicine, that might also have a magazine subscription to it. So we're going to check this. Okay, so 487,000. So we're not expecting as much as the others, but we're still expecting a little bit more than this. Yeah, I want to see in a couple of hundreds of likes. The shares are doing okay, but if we're gonna use 400 and almost 500,000 of our audience that we're targeting, we're gonna want a little bit more engagement with this. So I would say probably not. We're probably not going to use this one, just again because it's not very engaged. There's not many likes or shares. So let's find another one. Let's look for a magazine. Okay, here we go. Muscle and fitness. And the reason that we want magazines to target is because magazines require a either monthly or yearly subscription. And so when people are already pulling out their wallets to spend on a magazine, then we can be a lot more confident that they're going to spend on our course because they're already spending money on a product in the niche. So 43 minutes ago, 136 likes and a share. That's pretty good. An hour ago, 293 with 3 shares. Okay, so this is looking like it's going to be a pretty engaged page. 2 hours ago, it already had over 4,000 views. That's a good sign. 165. Maybe it wasn't really a niche-related post. So they're posting a lot and they're getting good engagement, but they're not really letting it saturate, so we can't really get a good gauge of how it engages this page. So you just saw 2 people liked it at once in 1 second. So this, I'm saying this page is going to be pretty engaged. 4 hours ago, almost 500 reactions and 74 shares. So that's a really good sign. Yeah, and they're posting like crazy, and they're getting serious engagement. 5 hours ago, almost 1,000 likes. Okay, so we can say pretty confidently that when they post stuff about working out, go small to get big arms, workout. So they're literally talking about a workout here, which if you're selling a course, I'd assume at least part of it is about workouts, and that's the most engaged type of post. So this is actually perfect for our purposes. Again, we're trying to sell a course related to fitness. So this is absolutely brilliant. So one thing I do want to do before I jot down the name and number of likes is I want to go and I want to check out their website. And the reason I want to check out their website is because if you don't have to pay, then people aren't going to pay. Okay, brilliant. So people have to pay. And it really doesn't matter the amount putting in their credit card, and they're making the purchase. They're making the purchase. That's what we want. Okay, so this is actually a brilliant page to target because, again, it is very engaged, okay? There are 7 million people, 7.1 million people who like this page, and it's a magazine. And it's a magazine with a paid subscription. So, what do we say, 7.1 million people? Okay, and just to keep this a little bit more organized, we're going to center all this, and oh, we don't want to go back to it right now. And now we're going to look for a big named individual. So let's X out of these, and let's look for maybe a coach. Perfect. So let's look at Trainer Lindsay and see what she has to offer. And she has 531,000. Now, I'm okay with targeting this page, even if it has not over 1 million likes, if it's very engaged. And the reason why I would want to target a trainer is because if somebody's willing to pay a trainer, then they're probably going to be more willing to pay for a course where you're essentially fulfilling the role as an online trainer. So 8 hours ago, only 30 reactions. I don't know. Let's keep looking. Okay, 8 hours ago, over 100 reactions and a share. It's still kind of on the fence on this one. And there's no real math behind this. I'm just kind of gauging, kind of based on what I think. And the more you do this, the more you'll pick up the scale. So you can see that, yeah, she got 14,000 views and there's a couple hundred reactions, but it's not nearly what we are hoping for. Okay, so this one, it still has been less than a day, and they're getting a couple hundred likes. So there's still some hope for this page. Another good bit of likes there. This one's not too good. It was done a day ago. Oh wow. Okay, so this one was a day ago, and there 26,000 views, 800 reactions, but 500 shares. So this page actually could end up being a good one to target. Not so much this post. It looks like it's kind of wishy-washy. See, this one has 35,000 views, 500 reactions, and 111 shares. So, okay, because there are a good bit of shares, I actually do think that this would be a good page to target, because we know that when the post type that is most applicable to this page is posted, we know that people go crazy with shares. So this one, for example, got 93,000 views. So when it's relevant, when the content's relevant, let's go back and look at that one post that got a lot of shares, so we can learn about our target audience, right? So this one got a lot of shares. It was a 15-day fit body challenge. Okay, so it's a recipe. So maybe if you added in a few bonus recipes as an ebook, that'll be a good lead magnet to get emails to then try to sell your course to people. So we're picking up a little bit here and there. We see another recipe, it's getting some pretty good engagement. So the people on this page tend to like recipes, but something like a quote with a graphic, it's not getting the engagement. So let's learn from it. Okay, but what is this? Where did this get so many likes from, or so many reactions from? And it seems like it's an actual visual representation of a workout. So in your course, again, we're learning about our target market. In your course, you would want to do videos very similar to this, where you're actually showing people how to do these different exercises. So we can learn from these pages. So I would say let's definitely target this page, because the people, when the content's relevant, the people are there. And what do we say it was? 531,000. Okay, so new individuals. Let's just say 531,000. Okay, so for the sake of not boring you with this case study, I'm going to cap it there. We found one of each type, and we're going to now go and we're going to plug this into an actual ad. So let's create this ad, and we're going to use the ad create tool. I don't want to go too much into Power Editor right now. So we're going to load our ad account, and we're going to choose our objective. So depending on what platform you use when you're trying to sell this, I would recommend either conversions, traffic, or engagement. And different people will tell you different things, but typically if you can put your Facebook pixel on your own website, definitely use conversions over traffic, because it'll tell you conversions will send traffic to you. It allows the pixel to get a little bit more in depth with the actual ad itself. And engagement is more for if you just want people to engage with you, right? So it's pretty self-explanatory. If you have something that is downloadable and the idea is to get a lot of buzz around it in order to give it some social proof so more people download it, then I would say engagement is probably your better bet. But because we want to send people, and again, if you're sending people to a webinar where you're trying to make the sale from there, then engagement might be a better option for you. But if we're just sending people straight to the course page, then let's just do traffic. Let's just do traffic. Let's keep it basic. Again, test out the different options that you have, because you never know what's truly going to resonate with your audience. So let's name this fitness course, just to stay a little organized. And we want to create a new ad set, define our budget. We're going to use a website. We want to drive traffic to our website. Obviously, you're going to want to pick the one that's most applicable to you. And we're going to target in the US 25 to 60. Now, we can target other places, but for the sake of this case study, I want to keep it in the United States. Okay, so we're starting off with people who have expressed an interest in or like pages related to gyms. I'm going to actually keep this interest here, and then I'm going to narrow down based on some of the ones that we found. Okay, so let's go over here at the female hard body. Okay, so let's the female hard body. Okay, so we see now that it's not here. Now, one of the things that you're gonna recognize when you're doing this, and it's sort of frustrating, is that not all of the interests that you find, not all of the pages that you find, are going to be available to target. And a lot of that has to do with the privacy of the page, because, and it makes sense, if this page has spent a lot of time building up their audience and they've spent a lot of money to really craft this targeted audience, they may not want people just strictly targeting those people that they have their target market. You know, we're targeting essentially competitors in some way, because gyms might have courses. All of these different people and these different pages that we targeted, they might also offer courses on fitness. So in a sense, they are competitors to this course. So, you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. That's why I recommended to fill out at least 3 to 5, just so you have a little bit of leeway when it comes to it, so you're not relying on just 1 or 2. So let's try muscle and fitness. Okay, so I'm pretty sure muscle and fitness. Let me just check. I'm actually going to type in, and it was muscle and fitness, yes. Muscle and fitness. Okay, let's see what is popping up. So I'd be inclined to say that it's this interest. However, we're not exactly sure, because it might be the actual, like if we go into and interest, it might be Muscle and Fitness. Because if we see here, it's claiming that Muscle and Fitness has 23.8 million, yet the page that we found is 7.1 million. So again, we need to be careful with what we're targeting and who we're targeting, and we really need to spend a lot of time and be very deliberate about who we're targeting. Okay, so we have a magazine. Let's add in our trainer Lindsay. Okay, let's see if trainer Lindsay's there. Trainer Lindsay. Again, see, we couldn't even find her. So when you're doing this, you're just gonna have to accept the fact that Facebook's not gonna allow you to target every page, and you're gonna have to pick and choose your battles. I wouldn't spend too much time worrying about it. Just find more people or brands or magazines or websites to target, and you can get around the fact that not all of them are available to target. Now, I get it. When you find a really engaged page and you've been searching for a little while, it's really nice to put it on there, and then to have to come back later and say, oh, well, I actually can't use this even though I've spent time searching for it. It's aggravating. It's frustrating. But the more you go through this process, the better you're going to be at it, the more organized you're going to get, the quicker you're going to get, and you're going to kind of know which different pages are more or less likely to be able to target. Like, I would say Planet Fitness is probably one that's going to be relatively easy to target. Now, let me stop for a second. This potential reach, okay? We want this to be between 50 and 50,000 to begin with. So we're going to keep narrowing, okay? And as we're doing this, as we're narrowing, we are using a strategy called flex targeting, okay? Flex means the and. So include people who match this and must also match this. So that's the and. We could also exclude people. So this is and then exclude is or. So this is and or targeting. That's just, flex targeting is fancy lingo for using this type of thing. So we're going to go over and we're going to grab Planet Fitness, and we're going to try to target them. See, and Planet Fitness is targetable. And the reason that I said that they probably would be is because, again, they're a little bit bigger of a page, and they're a relatively big brand. They're a big gym, and they're a franchise. So you're always going to be able to target the real big players like Nike and Adidas and different companies like that, just because of their monstrous size. It wouldn't really make sense to not allow you to target based on that. But when it gets smaller down, and I'm a little bit surprised that this one we couldn't find, because it is in the millions. But Trainer Lindsay, it makes sense. That's why I was a little bit reluctant to put Trainer Lindsay on here, because of the small size and the engagement. But for the sake of the case study, I just wanted you to see this process. And I could have gone beforehand and picked all these winners, but I'm actually doing this live just to show you the real process that I go through in order to do this. So we have Planet Fitness, we have Muscle and Fitness, and we have gyms. But we're still not at our 50,000 to 500,000 mark, so I want to narrow one more time, and I'm actually going to go check out some behaviors. So let's go see maybe consumer classification, no, maybe purchase behavior. That's what we want. So we want to go and find people who are more likely to be above average spenders. Okay, we want people who are going to spend money. Let's check out our purchase types. We want people who, because if you see, it dropped us down to 12,000 people. So that's not exactly what we want. We want a little bit more people than that. And I'm not seeing anything that's applicable here on purchase types. So maybe we could go to buyer profiles. Okay, so healthy and fit. Okay, definitely. And that brought us to 120,000 people. And then maybe we want to do sportsmen. So we're just trying to get to a good level. Okay, perfect. So we're trying to get to a good level of individuals who are part of our target market. And it actually stuck sportsmen with Planet Fitness, even though I didn't really intend for it to go there. I thought it was going to go here, but it brought our reach to about 440,000, which is a really good number to be at. So we have our audience now, and I would save all the audiences that you do so that you can test out all these different audiences, because one of the big things about Facebook that you just have to kind of accept as a marketer is that you never know exactly what's going to sell. You really don't. So I would save multiple different audiences. Now, you might just target Planet Fitness in one of them. You might just target Muscle and Fitness in one of them. You might just do healthy and fit and sportsmen in one of them. You play around and you mix and match and come up with these different combinations, because again, you really don't know which ones are going to work. Okay. Now, automatic placements. Okay, I am a very big proponent of being very selective with your placements. Now, what I would do is I would run 3 different ads for Facebook, Instagram, and Audience Network, and I would see who's actually buying. Because if you have all 3 of them and they're all flowing through one ad, then you can't tell which one is giving you the best result. And Audience Network typically will get you a lower cost per click, but if people are buying from Facebook, then you want to be advertising on Facebook. And if people are buying on Instagram, you want to be advertising on Instagram. The thing that matters at the end of the day is sales and revenue. So again, do a separate ad for each of these 3. Okay, so for the sake of this case study, we're just going to do Facebook. And we might do mobile only, we might do desktop. Let's actually go check out our audience insights, and let's see what devices they're using. Okay, so we see that a lot of these people predominantly are using desktop and mobile, or just mobile. Okay, so I would start this off and I would test it for mobile and desktop only and see what gives our best result, and then move forward with that. So again, we're going to start just with Facebook. We're going to absolutely not do instant articles, because as of right now, they're not worth your investment. I would leave on right column for a little bit, and just, again, we're testing, we're seeing which one's going to work better. Eventually, once you get some capital, you're going to want to run all these different, you're going to want to run ads to all these different platforms, and you're going to want to optimize for each platform with given pictures and copy, and different pictures and copy for each one that are suited specifically for that format, that platform. But again, we're just testing for now. We're feeling out the market. We're trying to find some buyers, and we don't want to start off too high, especially if we're doing a bunch of different budgets, a bunch of different ads. So we'll start off with a $5 budget, and we're going to go down. We're going to optimize for link clicks, absolutely. We're going to set our bid amount to automatic because we haven't tested this out yet, and we are absolutely going to keep it on link click. So we only get charged when people click instead of when people see it. Now again, this might be something that you want to test, and I would highly encourage you to test it out, because you truly do not know what is going to be your best ad, what's going to be the best thing for you. So we're going to keep going, we're going to continue, and just for the sake of this case study, we're going to keep it at a single image. Clearly, videos are going to be more powerful than images, but if you don't have a video, use an image. Again, for this case study, we're just going to use a single image, and I'm going to run this through, let's just say Ben Gothard, my personal one, and just to put a page there. And let's use some free stock images, again, because I haven't really done any sort of prior research to this at all. I'm just going to pick one. So let's do maybe a gym. Might be something to do with working out. Okay, we're going to find a nice image. And again, if your course is more towards cardio, okay, we'll do something with cardio. If your course is more geared towards weights, then use weights. Okay, so let's just assume, for the sake of the case study, that our course has to do a lot with dumbbells and weights. Okay, let's make this look a little bit sharper. Okay, move down a little bit. We would want the whole picture, but we can only have a bit of it. We want to make sure to get best of these dumbbells in there. And so we would put our website URL in, and that would be, whatever the URL of your course is, or wherever you want to send people to. This is the landing page where you're sending your traffic. And so our headline, it's got to be something catchy. So it could be something to the effect of gain 30 pounds of muscle in 6 months. Okay, we're going to go make this look a little nicer. And again, we need to play around with different headlines, but we want it to be a nice eye catcher. We want it to be very, it needs to hook people. So when they say, oh wow, 30 pounds of muscle in 6 months, that's pretty big, especially if you're targeting people like weightlifters or people who, they're not necessarily trying to lose weight. They're not necessarily trying to lose weight, but they're more trying to gain. Then this would be an appropriate headline for them. Now, if you're selling to people who need to lose weight, maybe it would say lose 30 pounds of fat in 2 months. Whatever it is for your purposes, make sure to customize that for your ad. So for the text, it would say, do you want to gain an insane amount of muscle by working out from home? Okay, let's qualify these people. So, do you love the gym? Okay, and we targeted people that liked gyms, so we know for a fact that they already do, but we want them to say, yeah, I love the gym. This ad applies to me. So, do you love the gym? Yes. Do you want to gain an insane amount of muscle by working out from home? Okay, now it's a little bit of a conflicting message. So, we could say, do you love the gym? Do you want to gain an insane amount of muscle by enhancing your gym workout? Okay, so now it's a consistent message. Then we might say something like, click learn more to get ripped fast. Okay, so we want people to click on our link. Okay, we want them to click learn more. We want them to be, we want to engage them. Okay, and so we might want to throw in a little buzzword here, ripped Okay, and again, this needs to be your words. This needs to work with what you're doing. This is purely an example. I haven't tested any of these, so if you just straight up use my text, I have no idea what's going to happen. It may sell, it may not, but I wouldn't just go based off of my text. I would create your own that's more suited to your course. And then the newsfeed link description, I actually like to keep this blank, and so all you have to do is press space, and it'll make it go away. And then if you just head on down to display URL, again, that would be the same website that you put up here, the same title. We'll keep it consistent. So www. Let's say, or actually let's keep the W's out. Let's say getrippedfast.com. And so now people know exactly where they're going. Now I will give you a word of caution here. If you have a different display link than website URL, Facebook is going to flag you and they might not even let your ads run, because people need to know what they're clicking on and they need to know where they're going. So you can't do clickbait and get people to click on something that they think is one thing and then have them go somewhere else. And I trust that you can see why. One, it's not ethical to lie to people, but two, it could be used for some not so wholesome things. But just the point that I'm trying to make is put the same website. You don't want people to be confused, okay? Well, for your website URL, if it's getrippedfast.com, then put www.getrippedfast.com. Just be consistent here, okay? So before we publish, we want to look at our ads. We want to make sure it looks nice. Okay, so on desktop, it looks pretty nice. Everything looks good. On mobile, it would be a little bit nicer to have this a little more squinched in. So maybe we might say LBS, 30 pounds of muscle in 6 months. Again, I'm not the biggest user of gym lingo, so I might be misusing that terminology. So forgive me if I'm doing that, but it's just to show you the example. So mobile, we got to make sure it's optimized for mobile, especially because if we remember, 59% of our group is using mobile only, and 41% is using both desktop and mobile. So we know that 100% of people, well, let me rephrase that, 99.5% of people are either using mobile or have access to mobile, and only 0.5% are desktop only. So we want to make sure that our ad is catered to mobile. Okay, so let's check the featured phone. Okay, it doesn't look too bad. I would clean up this text and try to make it look nicer, try to make it a little bit more concise, and I would definitely let people know that it was a course. But again, this is just an example. And desktop, right column. That actually looks pretty good right here. You're getting 30 pounds of muscle in 6 months. Getrippedfast.com. But you see that some of the text was cut off. So keep it concise, keep it short, so people know exactly what they're clicking. And then snag your pixel and stick it in your website if you can, because that's going to help you track information. I'm not going to get into it too much, but the pixel is important. And then you're going to want to place your order. So this is going to wrap up our case study. All right, y'all. So I hope you enjoyed the case study. This was a pretty deep dive into Facebook ads and using the audience insights to find your target market, learn a little bit about it, We touched on choosing a specific marketing objective on Facebook, then using the different techniques that we gathered from the insights. We came up with a target audience, we came up with a budget, we talked a little bit about placement, then we went into building the actual ad itself. So we covered a lot, but the Facebook journey is never over. You can never stop learning about this. You can never stop getting better at this. And so if you want, I actually have a course that will teach you everything that I know about social media marketing. Now, I packed a ton of information in this course. I started with content creation, and then that teaches you how to start with your purpose and figure out exactly who you're targeting. So you're figuring out your why, you're figuring out your who, you're figuring out your what of what kind of content you're creating, and then I actually give you a step-by-step system to repurpose your content and really leverage your time. And then it goes into community management, where you take all of the traffic from the content that you're creating and you're monetizing it somewhere. So in this example, the content would be any sort of videos you put out or blog posts or etc. that you put out about fitness. Then the community management part, the monetization part, would be the actual course itself. So you take all the traffic from the content, you funnel it all to the course, and then you make sales with the course. And then using the Facebook ads tutorial that is this video, this resource, this case study, you can come back and you can target people and ramp up your whole system. So you would offer the content that was converting the best from phase one, remember, content creation, and you would reinvest in that content and scale up your whole system. So that's like a very basic overview of my course, but I give you so much detail, and I go into the exact step-by-step process that I use to leverage different platforms, to do a little bit of SEO, to rank your content, a pretty deep dive into Facebook advertising. About a third of the course is just on Facebook advertising. So it really gives you everything you need to master social media marketing. I've been doing this for about 2 years and 3 months now. I started my entrepreneurial journey December of 2014, and it is now February of 2017. So I'm approaching 3 years. I've really learned a lot, and by no means have I learned everything. I still have a ton to learn, but everything that I have learned so far is in this course, and everything that I'm going to learn is going to be put into this course. I'm not just going to make a course and then just leave it there to get old, get outdated. So if you want to really dive deep into social media marketing, go pick up my course, and the link is actually in the description below. And this has been a Facebook ads case study on selling fitness courses. You guys have a good one.